Learn to play poker with the Opie and Anthony Show.
No. Oh, God. She spilled my chips.
I'm sorry, sir.
Opie. Now clean it up!
That's right. Be a poker player, just like your father.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
Are you happy now, Opie? Are you happy?
Okay. We got some racist music. And I got to tell you, I wanted to hate this stuff, but as far as comedy goes, it's kind of funny.
It's very hateful. The lyrics very hateful and hurtful, Opie. So it's
people are offended. I understand
people are very
that.
Offended by it.
They're definitely stereotyping.
It's hate music.
It'll be #1 with a bullet in Boston. Some of these songs.
Boston will love this.
DCN should add the record.
Yeah, Boston.
It does rock.
Yeah, Boston, crank up this next segment. You're gonna love it.
I'll give it that. And also, they make a point that a lot of black groups. What am I? Larry King.
Larry.
You know, a lot of the combos. A lot of the Negro combos put together songs. You know, they write a lot of anti-white stuff and black power stuff and black empowerment music. And then when Whitey tries it, there's a big problem. Then it's racist music. And these guys decided to put together some white power, anti-white people are dissed in this, Opie. Blacks, Mexicans.
Well, the first song is called "People Haters." It's a song about the white. The
Wigger, as they call them.
Correct.
The Wigger.
So what's this guy about? The article was in Newsweek. I think 2020 is going to do a whole thing on him, or 60 Minutes, one of those. 60 Minutes or one of them? I don't know. Steve knows that, but
I saw it on Newsweek.
Yeah, it's in Newsweek, and then 60 Minutes is going to do something, Steve?
Yeah, 60 Minutes is actually taping at his house in Minnesota today.
I love when he doesn't put his headphones on. He just talks
Martini
right
Steve,
over the
yes.
music.
All right, so we caught his attention because we saw this article in Newsweek. Ben brought it to our attention.
Yes.
And what's this guy all about?
Well, his name is Byron Calvert, and he's got a record company, and 5 years old. It's becoming the top white power.
He's 5 years old?
What? Go ahead, talk.
No.
What?
Ben's trying to read.
I can't help it.
Norton's just pointing at his mule.
I can't help it if your sweater doesn't cover that bulbous appendage.
Anyways,
oh my God, you totally flustered him. He goes, just like, and just points at his mule, and it's completely flustered Ben.
Anyways, they distribute 100,000 of these CDs to schools, and he's got that whole drug dealer philosophy. We hook them with the music, and then the kids learn and buy more online. He says we just don't entertain racist kids, we create them, and they're online to making $1 million this year.
But how big is that thing?
Okay, Parento over there. Relax.
Hey, come on now. Wait, so these guys are handing these CDs out at schools?
Yeah.
What grade?
Does it say 13 to 19-year-olds.
13 to 19-year-olds. They're handing out
junior
these things.
highs,
and they're from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I guess it's within that area or all over the country.
It doesn't say actually in the article, but yeah.
What do? They just give these CDs to kids at school to put in the front of their jeans?
Don't put them on hold. Fucking people don't listen. Jesus, Steve really has to start listening.
Why?
Oh,
the music.
Not now. Not now. Steve doesn't listen.
No, he
works really hard, and because he works so hard, he doesn't sleep and he doesn't listen. I said not now.
You didn't say not now, but he said, you might have said not now, but he said get him on the phone and keep him talking.
He was talking to him, so he wasn't going to hear anything.
No. Just not now. He's waiting for our call. We'll talk to him. All right?
Fine, whatever. And this fucking guy's going to giggle and make me look like a fucking flaming jackass. Well, the flaming's the hat. I know. You know what? But you know what?
No. He was just talking to him off the line. There wasn't anything there.
Let's all get on the same page. I don't want. No.
Okay.
I don't want him on hold or anything yet.
Oh, I know what you mean.
He wasn't putting him on hold. Shut up, you.
I know what you mean. I'm just trying to.
Steve, just
I'm
punch
trying
him
to
in the
figure it
face.
out. It looks like a big, juicy dilemma.
See, I can't.
You can punch him in the face.
I can't punch Ben in the face because if I
know
punch Ben in the
he's
face,
herking and jerking. How do you hit him?
I'll miss him.
He's
but
herking and jerking. There's
I'll
no
do some
hitting
permanent
him.
damage to poor Ben. I don't want to do that.
And you got that deep bass voice. You got to, put your headphones on because you're just blowing everyone away.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, it's like.
Oh man.
All right. Sorry, Steve.
Holy jeez.
Okay.
Dude.
What?
Steve was pissed.
Well, he was hot.
I understand, but
He was hot under the collar and on top of his head.
Is
He
Voss
was
really
hot under the
sleeping?
ankles.
What?
Are you sleeping?
No, I was just thinking of something.
He was asleep.
Oh my God, Voss is sleeping during the show.
You are an old man. Right?
He nods off like grandpa.
I was going like I was
Thanks.
thinking of
Way to
something.
support your friends.
What were
Thank
you
you.
thinking of?
The show stinks that bad you have to fall asleep.
He was
What
asleep. What were we just talking about?
asleep.
What just
I can
happened?
tell you everything that just happened.
Okay,
All right,
what?
What happened?
Steve came in here. and
Pack
he
of
was
lies.
Steve came in here because he was accused of the phone, whatever. And Ben, he didn't want to hit Ben in the bobbing
Okay.
head.
Well,
All right?
what limb did Ben admit that he's smuggling in the front of his pants?
The one that he was blocking with his CD. I just closed my eyes because my head from when you scratch behind your ear real hard, I get a headache. So I was closing my eyes. I'm not tired at all.
He was asleep.
I was not asleep.
You
I
were
swear to God.
asleep.
Was I drooling? If I
You
was
were
drooling, then
asleep.
I'd be asleep.
Cannoli cock. Did you notice that he was asleep?
We should have just let him.
I know.
Continue.
Let him continue.
No, I swear to God, I
You
wasn't
just
asleep.
fell asleep.
I know he was
Noticed.
asleep because the listeners are writing. Voss was funnier than ever.
Boss is old.
All right, so we're going to talk to the guy in a minute or two, but I wanted to play some of the songs first,
Right.
Anthony.
Yeah, don't put him on hold. Just call him when you're ready for him.
That's what I'm saying.
I hear you, Ope.
All right.
Use that phone that's in the front of Ben's pants.
Are all these songs on the same CD? It's like
How many college students could fit in that one?
Is it a compilation disc? Yes? From different artists, Steve?
What? Oh.
Steve, you can come back in. We're not going to bite you.
Come on in, Steve.
Oh, this is the same artist? Same artist?
Same artist is on those tracks. Yeah. It's just play it.
Yes.
Those are all by the same artist. Yeah. That's
really?
a group called the People Haters. But the compilation that he's handing out is a bunch of different artists. Problem is, and I had this conversation with him last night, it's all a lot of this grindcore, hardcore stuff that you can't understand the lyrics. So I wanted to make sure the stuff
What
that he
good
gave
is
us...
racist music if you can't understand the
Exactly.
hateful lyrics?
What's the first song called?
People Haters. It's white.
Okay. Sabbath.
You look like a nigga. You dress like a nigga. You talk like a nigga. You walk just like a nigga. You're a white nigga, white nigga, white nigga. Gonna pull the trigger on a white nigga, white nigga. Jigaboo! You smoking crack. You like that rap. You wanna be black. And you're shooting fucking back. You're a white nigga, white nigga, white nigga.
Alright.
You're a white nigga, white nigga. Jigaboo!
Jigaboo.
Jigaboo!
Wow. That's
I like
catchy.
it.
It's catchy. Kind of rocks.
Oh, white.
Have we officially started the most offensive song contest, too?
I think some of these might be contenders. That one, the guy doesn't like watching the white guys walk around talking with a black dialect and wearing the pants around their ass, things like that, I guess. So we wrote that the little ditty.
It is embarrassing to see a white guy behaving like that. Just
Yeah.
to see such a desperate need to assimilate to be accepted so he doesn't
Right.
get beat up. It's
Word.
conquering somebody that you think is going to
Word.
hurt you.
Word.
No, man, I know what you're saying. Not that I
No,
mind
I'm
Danny
saying.
tilting his hat to the left.
Our own Danny does tilt
No,
his
but
hat to
Danny
the left.
talks normal, but he's got his hat cocked like
All
he's
right.
ready for anything, dog.
Well, the next song is called...
Speaking of cocked, Ben.
we're trying to sample this, Anthony, trying to understand.
A little
I guess.
sample, sure.
The second track is called The Towel Is Not a Hat.
A towel is not a hat. Well, that's a good one. Okay.
Greatest thing I've ever heard.
Middle Eastern sound.
That's actually a cool sound right there.
Pretty good.
Get the proof. Another 68 rap, worse than a Jew. Ever heard of salt? You smell like fucking shit. With that towel on your head, you make me fucking sick. Go to the hat, go to the hat, go to the hat.
Toes on the hat. Yeah.
Pick up your fucking towel.
Just a towel head. Let him opportunity. Get the worst pizza. Brings his whole family. Gonna rip you off. Better kill your chain. Rag on your head. Cover greasy mane.
Towel's not a hat.
There you have it. A towel is not a hat,
Wow.
Anthony.
Just imagine the death moshing that goes on during that. You just know they're killing each other, doing the Hitler salute, and like wailing into each other's faces with their crew cuts.
That's such a good song, though. It's a great song.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There was one part where it said worse than a Jew.
I know you.
Yeah, Arab worse than the Jew.
So, see that? And he's right.
He's falling asleep on a radio show. Radio show. Falling asleep on a radio show.
Yes.
I stink.
Well, you know, it happens. Little radio.
Another sample here, Anthony.
What is it?
Well, the gays aren't safe either.
Oh, the gays?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hate guys. You know, they usually hate the blacks and the Jews and stuff, but they're not a big fan of the gays either.
I think gays are number one.
Ooh. No, Jews. Gays are two.
We hate all shit-dick! Andy Warhol, shit-dick!
Shit dick.
Mick Jagger, shit-dick! Michael Jackson, shit-dick! Jeffrey Dahmer, cannibal, shit-dick! We hate shit-dick! But slamming shit-dick! Boy George, shit-dick! Freddie Mercury, shit-dick! David Bowie, shit-dick! Rob Halford, Judas Priest, shit-dick!
All right.
Mick Jagger? Come on.
Well, the legendary story with Mick
I
Jagger.
know, but so what?
Liberace, Dim Neighbor, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger!
Freddie Krueger?
Freddy Krueger's a
gay?
shit dick?
Freddie, what? 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 He's a shit dick?
Truman, Capote,
Shit dick. Everybody.
Richard Simmons,
Oh.
shit dick! Rod Stewart,
Shit dick!
Jim Norton. Shit dick.
Hey, whoa.
Shit chest.
That's right. Ben Sparks. Big dick! Shit chest and big dick. That's our song.
Rich Voss. Shithead.
There's got to be an anti-Jew song on there.
Yeah, what
Well,
about
there's
it?
a song called Afro.
That's probably not it.
A shit dick. That's the greatest thing ever.
Shit dick is
How, that's already probably going to be a message board name.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Shit
probably is
dick
already.
says.
I don't want to focus on one group. I don't want to have an agenda
Of course
here.
not. Well,
Good
we
point.
have-
They have a song called Afro and Day of the Rope and Ebonics. We can play Spit Kill Ya.
Spit kill ya?
Yeah, he
I
doesn't.
guess that's the Hispanic.
He doesn't like the wetbacks coming to this country.
All right.
Well, going back to
Shit
the guy that,
Shit dig.
God, I'm going to think of this.
that might replace It Puts the Lotion in the Bottle.
I like that. Oh, shit dig.
Here's Spit Kill Ya. What an asshole. Jesus.
They're jumping all the fences, they're coming through the trucks, they're coming through the sewers, they're coming in trucks, they're swimming across the river, they're coming in boats, they're bringing their children, even their dogs, coming through the tunnels, coming through a place, coming through everywhere, hiding on the train, exterminate the vermin, just like a rat. Close the door to Mexico, we like it like that. Aye, aye, aye. Peter's coming over the border. Aye, aye, aye. We are tied to war, yeah. We got to raise an army. Bring them in tanks. Storm the gates of Mexico. Set the booby trap. Electrify the fence.
Can't really understand him.
Electrify the fences,
Yeah.
Kill yourself a greasy stick.
Do yourself a greasy stick.
Gotcha.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye, aye, aye. Peter's coming over the border. I like Mexican radio better. I'm on a Mexican radio.
He comes out with baked beans on his face.
Yeah.
A radio.
Radio.
I understand.
Radio.
I understand the hate angle in these songs, but they're also kind of silly.
They're fantastic songs.
Yeah, and people aren't going to take their hate seriously if they kind of put them into catchy, funny songs like that.
You know what? You sound like a real shit dick.
Jimmy Robinson's so much better than you.
I think we have another song here, Anthony. Do you have the last one?
Oh, yes, the one for, what they call the preverts.
The preverts?
Yeah. They're really not a big fan of the preverts.
All right, let's hear that one.
The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. Keep me up all night, hugging me, porn to porn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Boss, that's funny. You can laugh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I didn't hear it. I didn't get it.
You really got to get an XM radio.
How do you not have an XM radio?
Mike Brady, shit dick. Robert Reed, shit dick. Greg Brady, shit dick.
Hey, ho, he's a friend of ours. Hey.
Invite you over for dinner one night?
He's married with a kid.
Beard.
Guys that don't put in your raises fast enough at NEW, shit dicks.
Wow. Oh, gee. Oh, my God. Oh.
That's so inside, I just got hit in the thigh.
Intern that bangs your $1,000 hooker for free all weekend long. Thought he was a shit dick. Fuck. God, I suck. Thought he was a goddamn ass.
That's right. Those were shit dicks. What is this? A string of shit dicks? Those were shit dicks.
Mr. Fabersham. Oh, God, I suck. Almost
right.
made it all the way through that, and I screwed it up. Yes, problem? Problem?
So, do we know anything about the new songs, Steve? Are these from the same record label, or are these just other awful songs? Are these from the same record label?
Yes.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Just a different.
Huh?
They're all from that Panzerfaust label.
Okay.
Yes. They're just different types. Some are parodies, some are originals.
Yeah.
Now, even the originals are parodies. They all seem to be a little jokish.
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing about this.
Yeah.
They're very hateful, but then you find yourself laughing because they're, I don't know,
Toe
man.
tapper.
I can't really. Could you explain this maybe in a way?
It's dark humor, Opie.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know. You don't want to laugh when you see an old person fall down, but
I know. It's hard to fight the erection.
especially when you're the one that pushed them.
Yeah. All right, well.
Which one is this?
It'll be obvious when you hear it.
All right. I know this song. I think we all do. Little Credence.
I contain it.
I see a race war rising. I see trouble on the way. I see bombing and the fighting.
Bombing and the fighting.
I see victory in our day. Don't come round tonight if you're anything but white. There's a race war on the rise.
Wow. Well, that's ugly.
I hear the boats have started rowing. I know their end is coming soon. I feel our white nations are growing. I hear the voice of the red is ruined. Don't come round tonight if you're anything but white. There's a race war on the rise.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That one not as silly as the ones we played yesterday.
No, that one's all too serious.
That one's
Opie.
a little, a little more serious.
That
than
one's
the ones we were
all
playing yesterday.
too serious. That must get him going.
Yeah.
You know what it is with these white supremacist Nazi guys? I was listening to one of the other songs earlier, talking about the new Reich is here, and you know they really get really nasty, hateful, angry, and talking about how there's going to be a big race war and the new Reich is here. Look at the old Reich. They pretty much had a lot of manpower and equipment, and they lost. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think they really have the manpower to get this job they want to get done. You know what I mean? They don't have a bunch of Panzers and Stuka bombers and millions of willing soldiers. You know, it's very half-hearted effort just sitting in a garage somewhere writing songs like this.
40 guys with like a Meisterbrow.
Yeah, a bunch of cases of Meisterbrow and some Doc Martens to do some stomping with, but I don't know. I think it was tried during the Third Reich, and I think they failed miserably. And they had a lot of good equipment, is what they had. So good luck to you with your music in your garage.
Well, we got another one, another sample.
Which one is this?
This one,
Actually, by the way, not to interrupt you, I actually like the songs, though. I actually want to copy this CD.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm not even goofing. I actually like the content. They're catchy. They really are. You cannot help but enjoy them.
Unfortunately, yeah, the lyrics are very hateful, but some of the songs are kind of catchy in their tune.
I'm sure I'll be popular riding down 7th Avenue with these blaring out my window.
I'm sure.
I think that's exactly what the owner of this record label wants to hear from you guys. Is that, they're catchy and...
That's their way to distribute. You know, you could put these lyrics on a flyer and distribute them around schoolyards, like this guy's doing with the CD, and people would read it and go, get this crap out of my face, you know, I'm not going to read this. He could get the same message across because the tunes are kind of catchy. Does have a good strategy there. I don't know.
Well, he has one about Freddie Mercury.
Really?
Oh! Must be how happy he was that Freddie lived his life and gave so much to the world through his music.
I guarantee this will be the one everyone will be talking about on the message board tonight.
Are we going to hear the words shit dick?
No.
Is it a parody of Sail Away, Sweet Sister?
Well, it's a parody of this fine song.
Oh.
Freddie was a boy, made a big noise, rolling in the sheets, out of minding some guy one day got cum on his face. Big disgrace, shaking his ass all over the place. AIDS will kill you.
Oh.
AIDS will kill you.
Thanks for the PSA, everybody.
That gay man sleeping with the guys, knowing that he'd be doomed one day. Got blood on his face. Big disgrace, this dirty little faggot's been put into his place. AIDS will kill you.
Well, it will.
AIDS will kill you. Everybody, AIDS will kill you.
faggot.
Jesus.
The yell of faggot.
That's great.
Wow. That's kind of like a PSA, yeah. Hey, safe sex. AIDS will kill you.
Getting the message out to the kids, huh?
Sure.
Wow.
That's a little dangerous. Little dangerous.
Yeah, we should get this guy on the phone. Let's call him up and see what he's about. What's his name? Byron? Everyone in the media is talking to this guy in the next week or two. I mean, everybody.
Really?
Yeah, 60 Minutes is doing a piece.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's talking to him. I'll tell you on the phone, but...
Yeah,
White power.
We found out about him.
Where's he from?
He was in Newsweek. He's from Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota?
Yeah, it's Byron.
Yeah.
He's 33. He looks like he's about 50. He's got this record label that I can't pronounce. What
They
is
got a
it?
picture? Panzerfaust. Oh, yeah, he looks like a big Nazi.
Yeah, his record company's been around 5 years and has quickly become one of the top white power record labels in the country. There's a lot of white power record labels.
Who knew?
They couldn't behave any worse than the Source Awards.
Hey, Byron.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening, bud?
Well, we read the article in Newsweek, and we got samples of your music,
your catchy little ditties.
Yeah, people like people haters, huh?
Huh?
What?
People like the people haters, huh?
People like the people haters? Yeah.
Yeah.
People seem to like the people like the tunes.
Yeah, even skinheads have a sense of humor, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
that's what we're trying to figure out here. It's like
it's kind of a sense of humor that's a little,
hateful.
Little hateful.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
So this philosophy that these songs are spreading around, it's one you believe in?
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah, wholeheartedly.
Yeah, sure.
It's your mission to spread the word around. And what is the basic philosophy of Panzerfaust?
Well, really, we're a pro-white music company. We produce white power rock and roll.
But instead of just being like pro-white and white pride, it seems like you're also anti, black, gay, Jewish, Arab. And in order to be proud of being white, does that necessarily go hand in hand with having to hate people that aren't?
Well, we don't necessarily hate people. I mean,
it does sound like it from the song lyrics. It sounds very hateful, Byron.
Well, I mean that's fine, but I mean, listen, there's rap music with lyrics like "Kill the white people, make them hurt," "Kill the white people, but buy my record first." But nobody accuses Time Warner of hating white people, but that's the lyrics they produce.
He's got a valid point.
Good point.
I agree 100% with that. There's a lot of rap songs that are, it's a double standard if a white guy like Byron puts out a song that preaches white power and white pride, and at the same time bashes blacks. He's labeled racist, hateful, but the black record companies can put out anti-white rhetoric, and it's just music that is backed by major record companies.
It's seen as a view. I'm sorry.
No, what's that, Jim?
It's seen as a view into the mind of urban youth.
Right,
as opposed to hateful.
And is that what you're doing? This is kind of an answer back to a lot of that?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, we've got tens of thousands of customers in over 40 different countries. There's a growing backlash among the white population that are tired of the double standards, and one of those double standards is what the blacks are allowed to get away with. For example, they can be millionaires for singing about killing and hurting white people. They can win Grammy Awards. They can get movie roles. But if you're a white guy and you sing the same thing about them, then you get asked why you're a hate monger, and maybe you get raided by the gang strike force and sent to prison for hate crimes.
Yeah, that's kind of, you know what it is, though? That is just kind of the way it is. And, there's really, it is a double standard, yes, but it's just the way it is, and I really don't see that changing.
Well, it may not change, but what people are going to have to get used to is, see, we've had to move over in this country for decades. We've had to move over for homosexuals. We've got
how has homosexuality made you move over, like interrupted or interfered with your lifestyle?
Well, in little ways, but in ways that people have to put up with every day. For example, there are safe zones in high schools for homosexual kids, and there are gay clubs that the school has to pay for and sponsor, but the straight pride kids get kicked out of school. And the straight kids can't wear Confederate flag belt buckles because that offends some other group. What I'm saying is we've had to move over and be tolerant for every group in this country, and we're we're ready and willing to be the target of some of that tolerance ourselves.
Byron, just let me ask you a question. And is part of it, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but is part of that that tolerance, people could say, well, that's just a reaction to a lot of vicious behavior and people being mistreated for a long time. So what's happening now is kind of a backlash or a response to a lot of oppression and vicious behavior.
Well, it is, and but you know that's going to happen on both sides. I mean, of course, the blacks are going to say, "Well, we're mad at you guys because of all this oppression from centuries ago." But you tell me how a 15-year-old kid who gets beaten up in school by a black gang feels like he's responsible for something that happened 500 years ago,
right?
And who's responsible for when do white people have to stop paying for what happened centuries ago?
Let me ask you a question. Have you found, like, is Shit Dick having problems getting airplay on commercial radio?
I've never really attempted to have that played on commercial radio.
Yeah, there's the one that was
what's the biggest
Only
song?
because of the length of it. I think it's too long.
What's the biggest song on your record label right now?
Oh, it's really hard to say. You know, we've got probably 600 different CD titles, and there's hundreds. In fact, there's thousands of white power bands. It's a growing underground in the music scene.
Yeah, most of them really suck, though.
Actually, you're not right about that. In fact, some of the CDs I can send you guys. Well, put it this way.
Yeah, it's a lot of the thrash metal that just sounds like crap, or country that just sounds like crap.
How much white power music have you actually listened to?
I've done my research.
Well,
sir.
listen here. We've got 6 streaming radio stations with over 6,000 MP3s, and for all the people that think our music sucks, they're welcome to go to panzerfaust.com and listen to it.
Sir,
and
I wasn't saying your music sucked. I gave a little toe tap to some of those tunes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, not a hat. A lot of it, A Towel's Not a Hat is a great song.
Are there going to be any bands, by the way? I heard some of them are playing at the Downtown on December 23rd.
Jesus.
In Long Island?
Plugging whore.
Well, I want to know.
Norton, that's when you're playing.
Oh, sorry.
You ass.
Downtown must be a gay bar, huh?
Yeah, it's a great club in Long Island.
Byron, Harry in Ohio wants to say hi. Harry, what's up?
What's up, man? What the fuck's this guy's problem? He's a fucking moron. It's fucking, he ought to call his record label fucking penis mouth, because that's what he has in his fucking mouth. He's a douchebag.
Well, now...
Fucking white power bands ain't never gonna get off the ground. They're gonna stay underground just like fucking years ago, dude. I mean, you might as well forget it. There's not going to be a fucking race war. There's going to be a world war, if anything.
I got to agree with Harry on this one, Byron. I don't think there's enough people in your cause. I think that's kind of a good thing. I really, it's kind of hard to go to work when there's a race war going on.
Yep.
And I think, taking what some of the stuff you said earlier, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing that just because there's a lot of hate music coming out of black people, as far as, anti-white sentiment in their music, and it seems to be a record company acceptance of this. I don't think it's necessarily good that the reply is for white guys to get together and make equally hateful music of black people. I don't know if that's the answer.
It may or may not be a good thing, but you're going to have it. You're going to get it. There's a lot of people that are irritated with what's going on, and people that have sat back and allowed this to happen to our country really don't have a right to judge what form that backlash takes.
Yeah, well, the thing is, a lot of people are very apathetic. Things happen, we don't care, we go to work.
Mm-hmm.
How is this damaging? How is black rap bands and homosexuality, how is this damaging to the country?
Well, listen, multiculturalism is what causes racial tension. Racist people do not cause racial tension. Forced multiculturalism causes that, and multiculturalism is destroying this country on the one hand, but on the other hand, look, it's just art. I mean, if Robert Mapplethorpe can put elephant dung on Christian icons on stage and call it art, well, whether people like it or not, songs like Shit Dick, hey, that's people expressing themselves and their opinions.
That's something. I agree with you there. I think you should be able to say whatever the hell you want. And when it comes to music, I think anybody should be able to say whatever they want. But you can't expect acceptance from people, and you can't expect that just because you do have the right to say it, that it's really going to do anything but bring more hate into the picture, you know?
Well, great, because if blacks are going to hate us, then great, let's get it on.
So you're
We'll make
like
the wheels come off.
You're more into a separatism than keeping the races apart. You do what you do, we'll do what we do.
We agree. Us and Louis. If Louis Farrakhan ran for president, I might actually register to vote in this country. But until then, I'm not gonna.
And I got to disagree with one thing you said. Like I know what you're saying about like the political correctness has kind of made things go the other way. But as far as like in multiculturalism. Always fueling racial tension. Don't forget, man, and it's only 30 years ago or 35 years ago. In the South, racial tension started. There really wasn't much multiculturalism. It was a black culture and a white culture. Both people lived separate. It wasn't equal, and that was what started the tension. It wasn't necessarily that there was a mixing. It was that one was here, one was there, and one was good and one was shit.
Well, that's not really accurate. When the blacks had their own communities, their own neighborhoods, their own businesses, they were much better off. And blacks actually realized that it was actually integration and desegregation that destroyed the black community. Because then what you had was every black who could afford to move out of the ghetto could, and that left huge pockets of poverty where the kids had no role models and no tax base except for the pimps and the drug dealers.
But I'm talking about the resentment and the tension. I mean, do you think back then that there was equal protection given by the government and under the law, and equal protection given by the police, and people were treated the same in the legal system?
Well, no, of course not. And the thing is, they're not supposed to be. For example, do white people get treated equally in South Africa or Rhodesia? Does any culture or any race treat another culture or race, whether it's the Hindus or the Pakistanis, Hindus get mistreated in Pakistan?
Wait, you're saying that because they are a minority in the country that, sorry, you should just expect this?
Well, listen, all I'm saying is you cannot tell me of a place on this planet in history ever where multiculturalism has been nice and sweet and peaceful and everybody sat around and ate marshmallows and sang Kumbaya. Multiculturalism causes racial tension, period. Now, did blacks get mistreated in the South? I'm sure.
Well, but not to interrupt you, but you can't. Technically, he's right. Multiculturalism, where mixing races causes racial tension. But I mean, that's like saying you can only have domestic violence if a couple is married or lives together. I mean, obviously, by the nature of tension, you have to have two parties together. If it's racial, they have to be two different races. You're not going to have racial tension between two Italians. So it's kind of a non-point.
No, it is a point because obviously marriage is something that's good for society.
No, it's not.
The races is not good for society.
Marriage is not. Well, I'm not going to say marriage is great for society. I mean, come on, marriage has kind of failed, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think the fact that these days people have kids without getting married, but look, for thousands of years in our culture and civilization, it was marriage that resulted in kids being born and the human race being promoted. I mean. Whether these days marriage is a good thing or not, I don't know. But I mean,
Now, have you had any personal experiences that kind of led you in this direction? How old were you when you kind of got on the white pride kick?
Well, I'm 33 now. I'm married. I have 3 kids. I've been a white power skinhead since I was 17 years old. I've been to prison. I've lived in Africa. I've traveled the world. I've met a lot of different people. I'm not some dumbass that's never read a book. You know what I mean? I kind of know what's going on in this country.
Why were you in Africa?
Actually, I went down to South Africa before Mandela got elected, be honest, because I thought there was going to be a war down there.
Trying to find a suitable dock so when we send them all back, they know where to land.
Hey, I tell you what, if you want to see racial tension, you want to see racism, go see how the blacks treat each other in Africa.
I read about all that stuff every day in Rhodesia, and it's a mess. It's a complete mess.
But is that racial tension or is that more tribal?
No, it's racial tension to them because they consider themselves to be a separate, distinct race. For example, if a Xhosa gets caught screwing somebody from the Zulu tribe, they kill them both. They consider that race mixing. And I've had blacks in Africa tell me to my face, you let your American blacks come here and call themselves Africans, we'll make slaves out of them. Because if you're a mixed tribe, they consider that to be racially mixed. The same as the Indian tribes in America. You know, everybody plays the sad violin music about Indians in America. You know, they basically came here by following trails of buffalo shit from China, you know. There's nothing holy or magic about Indians. And they used to slaughter each other by the tens of thousands, and that was racial tension. These tribes, a lot of the names for these tribes was the people. They didn't consider the other tribes to even be human. And they would slaughter each other over killing grounds. That was two different cultures, or they considered themselves two different races, competing over resources. That was racial tension.
So you're saying that basically, well, are you saying that we should basically adopt the same mentality as, say, 16th century Indians lopping each other's heads off. Or scalps, whatever it is they did.
Well, no, I mean, the Indian example I gave was just that. It's an example, but it's an example of racial tension existing with or without white people. You know, these people seem to think if they can do away with the white racists, you're going to do away with racial tension.
Who says that?
Happen.
No. You made a point about it happening in Pakistan and India and all over the world. There's problems with Islam and the rest of the world that have nothing to do with white people. It's not all about white people.
I think he's talking about in this country, people feel if they get rid of the white racists, everybody's going to be all happy and live together in harmony. And he says no.
There's a professor at Harvard called
I think there's a few of them over there.
Okay, he's a Jewish professor.
What's his name?
His name is Noel Ignatieff. He's a Jewish Harvard professor. He actually advocates the extinction of the white race.
I've never heard that. Where can we back this up? I mean, you're saying it, but if you can kind of say anything, where can we find this out? I've never heard this before.
Well, you know what?
Who cares if he did?
You can Google him up. He's got a website called racetrader.org. He's a Harvard professor. It shouldn't take a 10-year-old kid 5 minutes on Google to verify that.
Oh, you can meet a lot of good 10-year-old kids if you Google them. I'm kind of off the subject. I'm just saying. But what's that got to do with anything?
Well, what it's got to do with is, well, put it this way, too. White people make up less than 8% of the Earth's population, okay? But whenever you hear people talking about fighting racism, they're talking about fighting white racism. What I'm saying is there's a lot of racial tension, there's a lot of racism in the world, but when you hear people talking about fighting racism, it's always the white guys.
Well, I got to be honest. You're right, it's been forever, but let's be honest. In the last 100 years, as far as the military is concerned, white people have pretty much, you got to give the thumbs up to us. As far as, Germany, world domination, I mean, Napoleon, most of the guys that have been popular or well known for looking for world domination are white. I'm not saying it's been that way throughout history, but at least in the last, couple hundred years, white people have pretty much had the market cornered on that. And here.
Yeah, but you have to remember something. That's not because of lack of desire. It's because of lack of ability. For example, when people say, well, the Indians never polluted before the white man came. Well, that's because they hadn't invented a goddamn chimney stack. When you go to South America and you show them people a chainsaw, they'll clear their goddamn rainforest in a heartbeat. The thing is, before we came along, they'd never invented a chainsaw, so of course they couldn't have, now of course, if you don't have weapons of mass destruction, of course, how can you dominate the world when you're fighting with a stick with a rock tied to it,
Yeah, but I'm just, lack of desire or lack of ability notwithstanding, I'm just making the point that that's why white people probably have gotten the bad rap in the last 100 years.
Well, you say, for whatever reason, but the reason being that the Europeans have been able to come up with some really great inventive machinery that made it that much easier to make their attempt at world domination.
Yeah, and they've been good at it.
Well, but look at what about all the good things racist white people have done? The fact that you've got a computer is because of a racist man called Professor William Shockley, who was a Ph.D. He was a racist. Put it this way. You look around your studio, everything you see with your eyes was invented by a racist white guy.
A racist white guy.
Somebody invented...
How is that? Now you're getting a little far-fetched.
Somebody invented a prosthetic bulge for the front of a producer's pants?
Well, I guess you got me on that one, guy.
Now, how can you...
But I bet you whoever invented that probably didn't like niggers.
How can you say that it's invented by racist white people?
Easy. Before a few decades ago, being racially conscious was the norm. I mean, look, Henry Ford, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. Look in history. If you look at your printer, look at the telephone, look at, paper, pencil, you name it, it was probably invented a long time ago by white guys, and this whole fad, this failed social experiment of multiculturalism has kind of become popular since the 1960s. Before that, for thousands of years, we were all racist and white. If you're white, your ancestors were racist. Otherwise, you'd be picking shit with the chickens in some mud hut in Africa somewhere.
Watson, come quick. There's a darky behind me.
Wasn't that Alexander Graham Bell's first word over the telephone?
I don't know.
But to make a statement like, well, it was probably invented by... I'm sure there's plenty of white races that have invented things, but you just can't say that everything you're looking at was probably invented by a white guy who didn't like blacks and kind of present it as a fact.
Well, racism was the norm. Look at NASA. Who flew to the moon? Oh, those are racist white guys.
Racist? You're saying Neil Armstrong was a racist?
Yeah, they were white guys, but why racist white guys?
Buzz Aldrin?
You're not really explaining yourself with that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you'd have to have some knowledge of the world and how things work, but I mean, before the 1960s, everybody was racially conscious, and there wasn't a whole lot of you know, the stuff that we see today with the race mixing and the multiculturalism and all that crap, that shit didn't fly before the 1960s.
You're saying they went to the moon to get further away from the queers?
Yeah.
You know,
and then Neil Armstrong jumped on the moon because he didn't want to look at the dark side?
You know, that's a theory. I think I'm going to look into that one.
No, but you can't just say because people are racially conscious and now it's become a crime to mention race at all due to political correctness. It doesn't mean that everybody
doesn't
was
assume that
racist.
everybody back then had to be racist. You know, that's
Well,
a little far-fetched.
The vast majority were. If you look at, you could look at anything from Supreme Court justices to the presidents to people like Mark Twain, Henry Ford. That was the norm. Anybody that has any
No, I understand. I'm not. Look, I'm not going to say that some of your points aren't valid. I'm not going to throw a blanket over everything you say just because that's your platform and say it's all bullshit. There are a couple of things that you're saying that you make a valid point. Whether you agree with it or not is another thing. But you're making valid points. But then to say that just because back then we didn't have this racial diversity we have now doesn't necessarily mean that every white guy that was inventing something was like, you know, turning a wrench going, oh, goddamn nigger. Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is they probably didn't have to do that to that extent. Without the multiculturalism, there was really no need for racial tension, but it was a healthy environment. People were racially conscious, and you know, I can't argue with you and split hairs about every single guy that ever invented anything. Was a hardcore.
So
white
you know, try
supremacist.
to keep those blanket statements out of your talking. I think
Byron,
you do a lot better.
What was the event in your life that turned you into a racist? By the way,
well,
it had to be something.
You know, really, to be honest with you, it came from my life experience. There was never any one particular.
But there
thing.
must have been a day where you just, you know, your whole philosophy, how you thought about things, just drastically changed. Like there had to be that one thing.
No, there really wasn't. It was a period. I mean, I grew up in the South. So, I mean, I probably was raised about as racist as anybody is. But after reading enough books and getting enough life experience, you kind of start to draw some conclusions. But, you know, one of the biggest recruiters for our movement in this country is black people doing what they do every single day. And, you know, to be honest, the amount of mainstream support that we get would probably shock and disappoint people like you and your listeners maybe. But we hear from people that you don't hear from. And I'm talking kids, parents, teachers, cops, lawyers, people that come to us and tell us what's going on in their area that they're not going to say, you know, publicly because there's a price to be paid socially for being racially conscious. But I hear it, and like I said, we've got tens of thousands of customers, and they're coming from somewhere.
All right.
No, you know why? I could see what you mean, but you know, I don't think that's an answer to it. I think you know, everybody who isn't pissed off at you know, when you look at the news and you see a pattern on the news and you look and go, oh my God, again, look, another black guy did this, it could be blamed on the media. I've heard that excuse used, things like that. But it gets people upset. But I don't think the answer is to rush into a white power group and start preaching hate against races and sex and religion. I think the thing you can do is live your life as a good guy. You know, set an example through your actions. You know, you go to work every day. You toe the line. You know, and you know, perhaps people will take your example. I don't think it's good to run out there and just start doing the opposite. Like you're doing the same thing that the thugs are doing. But you're at the other, you know, end of the light spectrum. That's all.
Well, we're not doing the same thing the thugs are doing. The thugs are out there selling crack, carjacking old ladies, you know, serial raping college students. That's what's going on out there.
Yeah, but you're kind of preaching the elimination of entire peoples. You know, it's kind of like, you know, kill the nigger. That's, you know, that's kind of like what about the law-abiding black people that are, you know, working, raising families and.
Hey, look, I mean. You can pick a few of our, you know, a few of our song lyrics. I mean, look, our music is pretty extreme. There's no getting around that. And we don't censor our bands. We've got dozens of bands on our label. We don't censor them. Some of them have different points from each other, but our party line or the thing that we're telling kids is not go out and let's see if we can exterminate black people.
I think they would pick that up from some of the songs.
Well, they might, and when it's against the law to say shocking and outrageous things, then we'll turn ourselves in, and until then, they can pound it up their ass.
Yeah, we're on the same page with you there.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're
definitely agree with
saying
that.
as far as the freedom to put that out, but yeah.
No one's saying that you constitutionally aren't protected. I mean, no one says you can't write songs like that or publish them.
Play whatever you want.
But, everybody says you got the right to do it. But see, there's a lot of things that guys in your position wouldn't be aware of, like what people have to put up with to do what this is. For example, the other day we got
it.
No, trust me, we get it.
We got kicked off the air 2 years ago. What are you talking about? We
Trust
had the
me,
same...
we get it.
Hey, listen, I used to listen to you guys, like when you pulled that chick's wig off, and I was pretty hardcore, by the way. But I used to live outside Washington D.C.
The racist thinks that was hardcore, Anthony. I guess I am the devil.
That is really.
I'm the white devil.
Everybody that I knew, like on job sites where there was still any white people left on construction job sites, everybody that I knew listened to you guys.
Right.
And everybody that I knew listened to my music and loved it and agreed with me. So there's probably a lot more of your listeners.
Byron, I'm not going to lie to you. We've been playing your songs for the last 2 days, and we're kind of laughing.
They're funny. I think they're catchy. There's a few of them though that are just pure hate. If you take some and you're mature enough to listen to these and take it for what I think some of them are is kind of a joke, kind of goofy. I mean, the passion behind why they wrote it might be what you're preaching, but for me to listen to it, I'm laughing. I'm kind of a dark, well, don't take it personally, not that way. I'm white, but no, I like the dark humor and stuff like that. Shut up, ass.
Yeah, you're Italian.
I'm Italian.
You're dark Italian. I don't know what's going on over there.
I'm not dark Italian.
We're going to start looking at you differently now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shaving my head tomorrow.
Hey, come on, white power.
White power, everybody.
White power, people.
Hey, listen, those songs that you guys are playing, they're, we got a sense of humor, too. We're not all a bunch of mouth-breathing idiots that hate everybody. We got a sense of humor. Those are funny songs, but...
Well, at the end of the day, that's what our jobs are here with our show. We're trying to make people laugh, and sometimes it's, one of these really just out there dark songs that are making people laugh, I don't see the point in just playing one of the songs that are just over-the-top hateful.
No, that's why I didn't send you a bunch of those, but do you know how many hits?
You didn't?
Of websites. You know how many hits one of our websites gets off of people doing Google searches for...
Byron, I have no doubt that you're very popular. There's no doubt about it. So,
but it's the jokes, the funny songs and the jokes. There's probably 30,000 people a month do a Google search for just nigger jokes. So I mean, the jokes are funny. Some people think they're outrageous and offensive, and other people just think they're funny.
All right, let me ask you this about the distribution of your CDs. A lot of controversy here. You're dropping these things off at schools?
Well, what we're doing is we're selling them in bulk, or we're just boxing them up and sending them to our people. And we went through our first 20,000 sampler CDs in about 12 days, and we ordered the other 80,000, and we've gone through about 10 or 15,000 of those. And people are basically just distributing them to kids in their area.
So what you're saying is, hey, I'm just boxing them up and sending them out. Other people can give them to whoever the hell they want, and you kind of wash your hands of it after you box them up and send them out.
For the most part. In other words, we're not giving people instructions on where to hand them out. I mean,
what do you think about these songs going to kids that are, as young as maybe 13 or early teens?
I think it's great. If these kids are old enough to listen to this anti-white rap music, or look at video games like Grand Theft Auto 3, where kids learn how to beat up hookers and smoke crack and carjack people.
I love that.
Yeah, we love that game.
That's great. Well, if the kids are old enough for that, they're old enough for our music. And,
technically, they're not, but
we're like any other company. We're distributing samples of our product, and I tell you what, it's huge. The kids are eating it up.
All right,
don't doubt it.
Well, let's. I guess we'll thank Byron for giving his point of view today.
Sure. Byron, thank you.
Any plugs, Byron?
Nah, what the hell? They'll find us. They got Google.
All right. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
All right.
See those.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Good luck to you, buddy. Opie.
Fucking worm.
Try to keep some.
Take care. Thank you for being on the program.
Good
hey,
luck to
Godspeed for your lips to God's ears.
Little.
Good luck to him. I don't know.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Try to keep a little neutrality here, Opie, as a journalist.
Hey, good luck. Hey,
we're not journalists. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Yeah.
Fight for the good cause.
We're not journalists.
Too bad he wasn't here. You could wink at him and thumbs up him, you blonde-haired Nazi. Take it easy. Perfect race.
That was just my way of giving,
Hey,
thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
No. Can I tell you how hard it is to actually have to argue in favor of the liberal point of view? Jesus, is that difficult?
Jesus Christ, I know.
You
got it back and forth.
Now we can play this song because he told us he only sent us the funny ones.
No, he did not send us just the funny ones.
How is this song considered funny?
Written in the good old days, I see.
The house next door to me's been sold to niggers. They claim to be wild Indians from the plains. Oh, but they ain't shucking me, they're colored people. We'll make cowboys and niggers our new game.
Yeah, that's not quite the
Last
humor.
night when I come home, I was warmly greeted, but not by my sweet wife saying, hello, dear. Instead it was, hello, there, what mammy jamma. Says, how does you like us dark folks living here?
All right, sax solo.
There you have it.
Wow.
To answer your question, how can it be considered funny? I think it's kind of silly when real estate deals go awry.
Is that what you took out of that song?
Yes, that there was like somebody was supposed to buy the house and the financing got messed up and somebody else bought the house.
Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say that Anthony and Norton do a much better interview than Larry King, and I'm not kidding. Straight up.
Yeah, no, they
He's
did
very
great with him.
intelligent, man. I mean, honestly, it's probably the best interview you'll have with that guy in the next few weeks.
Well, you know what it is? It's like obviously I disagree a lot with what he's saying, and Anthony was right. He does make some valid points. As a person, you can't just throw a blanket, emotional, knee-jerk reaction statement and go, "Oh, you're fucking racist, evil." There are points that are valid and points that are invalid.
Right, and he's going to do mainstream media, and they're going to help his cause because they're going to cut him off, and he's not going to be able to have an intelligent
Well, that's
discourse
true.
about
Yeah.
this. I'm serious. It's
Yeah,
like-
if he's on I don't know, CNN, and he's sitting there
Bill
doing
O'Reilly.
an interview with them, they won't even let him get a word in. They're gonna let him get enough rope out to hang himself with. He'll say
Right,
a few things, and then they'll just write off everything. You can't write off everything the guy says, just like you certainly should never agree with something with everything somebody says either. Weigh it out. The guy's right about black people pretty much being able to write songs and being distributed by major record labels without having to answer for anything. And that's considered music, and it does win awards, and it's hateful to women. It's hateful to white people. It's hateful to any other races besides blacks. I've heard it before. I used to listen to Ghetto Boys. I used to listen to NWA. And the stuff is just hateful. Damn entertaining, I'll say that. But, you got to look at the other side. The guy was making valid points when it comes out. Some of his points off the fucking wall. I think the whole reaction that black people doing that kind of hate music and putting it into song and winning awards, I don't think the answer to it is to then get in your garage with a bunch of white guys with skinheads and preach, hate in the other direction. I don't know what the answer is, but I don't think that's it.
I got another example, Anthony. He said he only sent us songs that were funny.
Right.
This one is just brutal.
Brutal.
How is this funny?
Hey, Jew, don't tell me lies about gas chambers in Auschwitz. 6 million Chinis are alive with their circumcised sons, ugly daughters and wives.
Is he trying to do a Nazi accent?
Jew, the new Reich is here, and this time it is for real.
Oh, really?
We have to stop your worldwide desecration of man. You're Satan's spawn and not the chosen. Hey, Jew, in your synagogue, preaching hatred for the Gentile.
off.
There's no denying.
Gave up on rhyming and
I know.
everything. I don't think the new Reich is going to go very far when it's just guys in a garage.
I'll tell you how it's funny though. It makes you realize what it would sound like if Carol Kane sang with the Internet is for Porn guy. And it's also nice how they took out the piano and put in the
cheesy acoustic.
The guitar, yeah.
The cheesy acoustic guitar.
All right, we got to take a break.
You sure do, Opie.
Coming up next on Opie and Anthony, Jim Norton sings.
Forget me not, you sightless twat. Your dog just shit on my rug.
Thought that was pretty fucking funny, didn't you?
How's that for a sketch?
The Opie and Anthony Show.
You don't do sketches, stupid.
I was walking down the street, and some construction guy was shouting at me, "Hey, show me your cans!" So I did. And he plummeted 17 floors and was impaled on a forklift. But my tits looked great.
Please, wow responsibly. A public service announcement of the Opie and Anthony Show.
It's the O&A virus.